Today I'm going to show you how to get started on the collections assignment or the cards assignment using the online C# compiler. I recently published the alternate assignment instructions and the starter code. I'm going to show you how you use those, and we're going to go through creating your deck of cards and moving through your deck of cards, and you'll hopefully get the hang of what's going on here. So you see I'm starting at the class website. I'm going to go down in the class website to the collections section. And I've already gone to the online C# compiler, which is found at this website. A link to this compiler is in the alternate assignment. Here's the alternate assignment, and here's a link to the compiler. These are the instructions. I'm going to let you read the instructions. I'm going to go back to the class website. And in the instructions, it says start with the starter code, the alternate starter code, which is right here. So I'm going to click on download the file, and here's the file. And I'm just going to hit Control-A to select all of this text, and then Control-C to copy it. Then I'm going to the online compiler, and I'm just going to replace everything here with this code. This is the starter code that kind of gives you, if you will, kind of the window or the framework where you're going to put in all of your code. Because we've been this semester going about using buttons and text blocks and text boxes and windows, this uses none of that. It's all just text. It's a text input, text output kind of thing. Once I have that all pasted in here, I'm going to click the Run button here, and you'll see that it's going to compile the program for a second and shows this prompt down here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. It says higher, H, lower, L, or quit. So if I say H and press enter, it says you guess the next card is higher. If I say L and enter, you guess the next card is lower. If I click Q, I quit. I quit the game. So I'm going to click enter or press enter to exit the console. All of that code is in here. You'll see this is where it's prompting you or printing out higher, lower, or quit. And then it's saying console read line. This is where it gets your input. And then if the input is equal to H, they guessed higher. If it's L, they guessed lower. If it's Q, they said quit. Now I can just as easily, you don't have to do this, I can put in another one, the else to all of this is either H, L, or Q. And so I'm going to copy this line, and I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to say something like, I have no idea what you are asking for. This is just for fun. So now if I press run and we take a look at our output, I say H goes higher, L lower, Q to quit. I'm not going to do that. But if I put an R, that's none of them, it says, I have no idea what you're asking for. H, L, or Q. So I'm going to say Q and quit. That's just a little bit of getting you into the groove with this online compiler. Now, as we walked through in the other video about getting started, I'm going to go through and walk you through how to create the deck of cards. Well, creating the deck of cards is similar to question 4 in the worksheet. We need to create an integer array. I'm going to call it deck, and I want to say that it's a new integer array size 20. Now, because we're in the online compiler, we have to put static in front of each of these. It's a little bit different world. Now, just like we do at the beginning, in our other WPF world, we have the main window constructor where we put the creation of the deck of cards. Here, I'm just going to type a for loop here. I equals 0. I is less than the length of our deck. ATH. And then I'm just going to do exactly what we did in the other one, which I said deck sub I is equal to I plus 1. No, not times. Oh, plus 1. Okay, got it. So this is creating my deck of cards. Now I can run this. We're not going to see any output from this, but by clicking run, it's going to compile it and give it a shot. If there's a problem in this window down here, it will tell you where the problem is. It sometimes does this. I haven't figured out why. And so I can do H, I can do L, I can do quit. Okay, that's fine. So I've got our deck of cards created now. This created our deck of cards. Now we want to talk about moving through the deck of cards. Well, as I talked about in the other video, we need an index or a counter that goes through the deck of cards. So I'm going to create, you have to start it with static, an integer, and I'm going to call it current card, and we're going to start it out at 0. Then down inside here where it's H and L, anytime you guess higher or lower, we're wanting to display the current card. Well, actually, we want to display the current card right here, where it says put in the code here to display the current card. So before I talked about creating the method, and I'm going to create a new method, and because we're in this online compiler world, you have to put static there. I'm going to call it display current card. And if you recall, displaying the current card, we were doing something like, tbcard.text equals, the deck of current card. This is the old way of doing it. I'm showing you the old way of doing it, and we did this convert to string on this guy. But we don't have a text box or a text block. Instead, we just simply print it out. So we're going to say console.writeLine. That means write a line of text to the console. And I'm going to say, open quote, current card is, close quote, plus that. So whatever the current card is. So now that I've got this method created, let's see, I'm going to copy this method name, and I'm going to come up here where it says display the current card. Oh, that's the current score. And I'm going to say display the current card. Now I'm going to click run, and it says the current card is 1. Okay, higher, the current card is still 1. Lower, the current card is still 1. Okay. So I type quit. What's going on? Okay, I'm just going to click stop. It's wigged out for some reason. Well, I'm creating the deck of cards. I'm displaying the current card, but every time they guess higher or lower, I want to move to the next card. So I just do that by saying current card plus plus. And I'll copy that line down into lower as well. So now when I run this, hopefully it cooperates. It says current card is 1, so I'm going to guess higher. And it says current card is now 2, lower. And I can keep going and going and going and going. And you notice the current card keeps changing. If I go one more, I'm going to crash. This is the index was out of bounds of the array. Okay, that means I walked off the edge, but we already knew about that because we don't have anything to stop the game. So very briefly, very quickly, I've walked you through creating your deck of cards, and every time they guess higher or lower, we're moving to the next card. Oops. We're moving to the next card. That should give you a little bit of an idea on how to get started and how you can adapt some of the other code that I've already gone over in the other videos for WPF and Visual Studio, how you can adapt that same code and put it in here. Hopefully this will help you, and we'll continue to publish more videos to give you more help. Thanks.